After 9 years with the Arizona Coyotes this morning, GM Don Maloney is let go by the team. Luke, I just want your initial reaction as to why necessarily, even after they took steps this season in a good way, why he was let go.
I mean, it's tough. I think the initial reaction, and certainly a lot of the players said this too, he's been here for 9 years. So it's just, he's done a lot of good things here. You look at some of the trades he's made. I mean, Anthony Duclair wouldn't be here without the trade that Don Maloney made last year, and he's made quite a few trades like that. So I'm sure it's tough around this building right now. He's been a big part of this organization through really tough times before they had ownership and with the NHL running the team. So it's tough in that respect. I think when you get to this point and you've missed the playoffs 4 straight years, it's a very complicated situation because really you can take a couple of those years out of it. They didn't have an owner. They were playing with half a deck of cards compared to all the other teams, and they were still close. Now they're definitely heading in the right direction. And so I know some people look at that and they're like, well, why are you letting the GM go when you're this close? But I think it's just a matter of ownership felt like they had to make a little bit of a change. Maybe we'll see Dave Tippett have more input. I don't think Dave Tippett wants to be the GM by any means. I know that's floating around out there that he wants to have total control. That's not Dave Tippett's way. I think you just need to make sure everybody's on the same page going forward. And I think ownership obviously does their due diligence with stuff like this. This is a big deal. This is arguably the most important position in the franchise. So they thought this through, and I'm guessing that's kind of the angle they're going with.
All right, so you're saying they are this close meaning to get to the playoffs next season. What is the outlook now going forward without GM Don Maloney?
Well, it leads to a lot of, I don't want to say confusion, but there's a lot up in the air still right now. But that's fine. And at the end of the middle of April, if you're not in the playoffs, you got the full off season. So it makes sense if you're going to make a move like this, do it now. Do it before free agency, before the draft, so before the draft lottery even happens. You bring in your new guy, and he can get settled in with the people that are already in place in the front office. I mean, they are a lot closer than they were, and if they improved as much next year as they did this year, they could win the division. I mean, that's a big jump to make, but the talk last year was this could take 3, 4, 5 years, and I think a lot of that talk was to win the Stanley Cup. But in terms of making the playoffs, you look around the league, teams do this almost on a yearly basis. Florida this year won the championship, and they're basically right now where the Coyotes are hoping to be in a year.
Thank you, Luke.